perfection is my enemy, and on my own I'm so clumsy, but on your shoulders I can see I'm free to be me, and you're free to be you. Sometimes I believe that I can do anything, yet other times I think I've got nothing good.
Question 1, what are some ideas on how you can share your faith without being pushy or arrogant?
Probably the simplest thing is just to invite. The church I belong to has a lot of activities going on throughout the week, throughout the month, that are religious focused but not sermons or preaching, and so it's just invite neighbors and friends to those kind of activities.
Great. Have you personally ever been hurt by the church?
No, not really. There have been some things that maybe I didn't quite understand or didn't agree with, but nothing to take personal offense to.
And question 3, what is one thing that you would change about the church?
One thing that I would change, maybe a little bit more opportunity to serve within the community and rather be more community focused rather than just church focused.
Perfect. Here we go. What is one of the biggest turnoffs with the idea of organized religion of the church?
Hypocrisy.
What is one thing that you would change about religion or the church?
Less legalism, more focus on salvation.
Have you ever been pressured or / manipulated into going to the church or a church activity?
Yes, when I was younger. Not since.
Not since.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Have a great... All right, question 1. What are some ideas on how you can share your faith without being pushy or arrogant?
Ways you can share your faith without being pushy or arrogant, I would say really just live by example. I think that nowadays people are really, I would say, I went to Christian school growing up and I went to private school and my dad's a pastor, so I would say that, you know, throwing Christ on people isn't how he works with me. He kind of just knocks and leaves the door open, you know what I mean, if I want to walk through it. So I would say that just leading by example, being who you say you're going to be, I think is the easiest way without pushing God on the people, because you really ain't got to do that. I think that God will push on your heart, you know, that's what he did with me at least.
Right on. Question 2. Have you ever been hurt by the church?
Absolutely. And if you haven't, just wait for it, okay? It's coming. You know, anything that you love and anything that loves you, I think that's the relationship. I think sometimes we have an unrealistic expectation of the church and God, and sometimes people are just people. And so whoever you are out there, don't judge the church. You know, what it comes down to is people are people, and unfortunately people make bad decisions, and sometimes they're in the church. So that's what I try to do, is take away those personal experiences from blanketing the church as far as, you know, making them responsible and looking at it, that's just the person and the individual at that church. But yeah, you get hurt, man. It's just, if you've been in church long enough, it happens.
All right. And what is one thing or something that you would change about the church?
One thing I would change about the church is I like the open door policy, you know, like the non-membership kind of status. I just think that going to church and my dad being a pastor, I think sometimes it kind of got about the rituals and the money and the bills and the clicks. I think that if you had an open door policy where, you know, it was more of a community kind of feeling, and come as you are, I don't care if you got high the night before, if you slept with a girl the night before, if you was drunk the night before, whatever you got to do, get into that building with God the next day and work on those behaviors. So I think that this judgmental church, you know, just not even church, just a place in general, no one wants to be judged. And so having more of an open eye and a forgiving eye like God did to me, I think that gives a more opportunity for people to keep knocking or keep finding a way to knock on that door or humbly stumble into God. Even if you're hungover, still get your butt in church.
Cause I got a couple dents in my fender, got a couple rips in my jeans, try to fit the pieces together, but perfection